Well, here in Lloydminster, 20 of the 28 applications for non-profit property tax exemptions were approved by administration and subsequently by City Council this week. These non-profits were able to meet the requirements of the new property tax exemption policy Council approved of in late October. Each organization now has 3 years before having to apply again, which Councillor Glenn Fagnan says should benefit both sides.
A lot of times charities get buried in paperwork, and so if they only have to report every 3 years, that makes a big difference and just makes everybody more efficient.
The exemption is primarily for properties owned by nonprofits, though some that are renting land can still apply.
The organization can go through their landlord, and the landlord can file that requisite request to make that piece of property non-taxable if a nonprofit organization that meets the requirements of the federal and provincial regulations is occupying that property.
Going forward, the deadline for applying for nonprofit property tax exemption is September 30th. Well, for many people, 2018 offers a starting point to change for the better. The goal of a New Year's resolution is to create a habit that lasts throughout the year. However, when it comes to choosing one, improving your overall fitness can be tough to stick with.
The truth is, everybody gets that little shock of, oh, I want it. But as soon as they put all that extra work in and see how much work it does take to make the transformation, they give up.
When it comes to getting in shape, adjusting to a cleaner diet is often more difficult than weight training.
The main thing that does draw people down is the fact that they like the work at the gym. People get addicted to the fun, to the adrenaline rush from actually working out. But then as soon as they step the foot outside the gym doors, man, they just have a hard time battling with the food.
Weinkoff, who has owned a gym for over 15 years, says around 60% of people who sign up for a gym membership in January will cancel it within 30 days. Well, stars of the country music world are not a rare sight in Lloydminster today, as two of Alberta's brightest celebrities have arrived and are playing here on tour. Dan Davidson has been in many situations in his music career, but for him, this is uncharted waters. Davidson is now touring with Brett Kissel across Canada.
This tour sort of made sense. Brett was going out to support his new record. I have a new record, kind of buddies, done some shows, have a little bit of history, and yeah, so I'm just happy that he's having me along to ride a little coattail or two.
Even with Davidson's successes in 2017, he's excited to get things started right here in his home province of Alberta.
And these are traditionally some of the best markets I've played in anyway, no matter what styles I've been playing. And people just love music and want to come hang out. And we're playing a beautiful new theater here in Lloydminster, so yeah, I can't wait.
Davidson and Kissel are playing tonight and tomorrow at the Vic Juba Community Theatre.
This is Newcap Sports.
Senior hockey in Hillmond has one of the richest histories in the area, dating back to the 1960s, and that isn't lost on current players. Lance Phillips brings us the story of an initiative current Hitman members are working on to reunite some of those teams' past players.
Saturday afternoon provided an opportunity for hockey fans to watch a game full of Hillmond Hitmen. Not the first place 2017-2018 version, but rather a match full of players who suited up with the Hitmen from as far back as 2008. It's the organization's second annual alumni game, and thanks to a small group of dedicated volunteers, has become much more successful in year 2.
Sean Newman had the idea, and it was one of those things we talked about, and we were putting it off for a couple of years, and last year he said, we're doing it, we're just going to make it happen.
Last year, it was a bit of a new idea. We hadn't done one before, so we're just kind of learning the ropes of it. And then you go through it once and you learn what works, what doesn't work. And then you see what's on the ice tonight, right? We got twice as many guys, and we have twice as many guys interested in it, and they're all here, and they've all brought their families.
I think it shows the health of your organization when you are winning on the ice, when the boys that are on the ice winning are having fun and smiling, the fans are supporting, and when the people that have played here before come back and want to stay involved.
With the sheer volume of players that committed to playing in 2018, it's evident the word is spreading about just how enjoyable an event the day has become.
It was a blast. It was a good game. The game itself was good too, and it's fun being on the bench with everybody and in the room, and everyone's giving each other the gears just like they used to.
They loved it, right? And that's been part of the success too, right? They start talking and throwing emails out to all the guys who didn't come, and now your teammates are all going. When they see that, they go, well, maybe I should be going too.
Given the heightened sense of awareness and progress the event has made in 2 years, the organizing committee is hoping to bring some of the original gangsters of Hillmond hockey on board for 2019.
The All-Stars started, I think, back in the 60s, and we've been talking about it for the last 2 years on how you tackle that giant of getting the old guys to come out to something like this. So that's what we're going to focus on, is getting the 30 years of All-Stars involved in this.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports.
As farms get bigger, the need to see what's going on in the field is growing. This challenge is exacerbated given the shortage of labor facing agriculture. Gerard Lampow gets an update on the role of drones on the modern farm.
Things are really picking up for drone elevation mapping. We found that guys seem to be very interested in getting full drainage analysis on their lands.
Warren Gennick says he's already pre-booked nearly 10 times over last year following the recent crop production show in Saskatoon. With changes to water management rules, Saskatchewan producers have been turning to drone mapping technologies to get ahead of the curve. Apart from water management, producers can benefit from drone technology and the range of onboard sensors.
There's a lot of services or things that can be done with drones, such as crop health analysis, looking at the crops are in that growth stage and see which parts of the field are producing better than others and start to identify potential issues during growth.
There are companies that will rent producers drones with all the sensors required to collect data and then provide a customized interpretation, or you can take the data to your trusted agronomist for prescriptive analysis.
So we can determine what the drainage is or where there's potential problems on land. That way, a farmer can have a more successful growing season because he's able to perhaps get on his land earlier due to better drainage, or he's got more consistent yields at the end of the year because his ground hasn't been drowned out.
Topography followed by drainage analysis puts producers in a better position to get in the field earlier and have better results. Some producers can purchase their own drone for about $2,000 to $5,000, but then you need to be skilled to do your computer maintenance. Other producers are opting to rent these services for about $2 to $5 per acre.
So there's lots of very exciting sensors on the market today to look at what isn't visible to the naked eye, so looking at near infrared as well as other multispectral signatures of plants, and then even thermal imaging, and all of that can be used by a trained agronomist.
This allows producers to apply fertilizer and other inputs more economically. So what does the future hold?
In general, the industry is really moving towards having more precise information. So that can mean a lot of different things depending on the sensors, depending on the type of maps that almost every farmer can benefit from.
With agriculture facing a labor shortfall going to 2025, drones already represent the way of the future. Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.